there, I'm Tian and I'm part of a Durham student. Today I'll be joined by my friends Lilly and Prem to talk more about what it's like being a STEM student. So before we get started, we're just going to be asking them an icebreaker question, which is, what is your favourite emoji?
I think my favorite emoji has to be the smiley face with the smiling eyes, with the rosy cheeks. Mostly because that's my most used emoji. It's just me because I feel like I'm always smiling. People, when they see me, the first thing they say is like, "You've got such a lovely smile."
Yeah, I would probably say the stock graph, the up emoji, like the green line, whatever, because optimism is always needed, even if you do maths.
Great segue. So now we're going to be asking you your Durham stats. So Durham stats is something you get asked during Fresher Week, just as a quick introduction. So what it is your name, college, year, and degree. And then I'll pass over to Prem.
So hi, I am Prem, as Tian said. I'm a member of Josephine Butler College. I'm a first year and I do natural sciences.
My name is Lily. I'm also a first year at Hildbeed and I do computer science.
Great. And then just Prem, for people that don't know about natural science, what subjects do you do within that?
I do maths, computer science, and economics, which is interesting.
Yeah, awesome. So I guess some people here watching may be prospective students and wondering, what was your route into Durham? So what did you do for A-levels and how did you decide Durham was the university you wanted to go for?
Well, I did computer science, maths, further maths, and physics at A-levels. So I did 4 A-levels. Kind of intense, I know. And yeah, I chose to do, I always knew I was going to do computer science for uni, mainly because I just really I have a passion for wanting to create apps and games that can be used to help people, you know. I've always wanted to be able to do something different, bring something new to the industry, and I feel like quite a lot of games or apps out there, there's basically so much more room for doing things that can have a positive impact on people's lives and being able to help them. And yeah, my route into Durham was actually quite unusual because Durham was actually the very last uni I added to my UCAS list. I kid you not, before our school deadline, because we had an earlier deadline for those applying to Oxbridge, because I was applying to Cambridge. That was my first choice originally. So I was looking for a 5th uni to add to my list, and I actually did a Google search, top unis for computer science in the UK. And at the time when I was searching, Durham actually came up as the 4th best in the UK for computer science. So I was like, okay, I'll add Durham down, but I wasn't really thinking too much about it at that point. But then later, after the whole ordeal of admissions tests and all the stress of that, and after that point, finding out that I wasn't going to Cambridge, Durham actually gave me an offer, but I didn't realise that it was much earlier than what other people knew when they would get back to them, because I got my offer from Durham in the early November. And when I told people that I'd already been given an offer from Durham, they were like, people don't usually get an offer back from Durham until January, so how have you got yours so early? So then I was like, okay, it seems like Durham really wants me here. And even though originally my insurance in the what I knew would be my insurance was going to be Manchester, but then deep down I kind of knew that I didn't really want to go to a city university because I'm from Leeds, right? So Leeds is obviously quite a big city.
I forgot to ask that, where you're from as well.
Well, no worries. Actually, it's quite sweet how Tian's also from Leeds. So another part of that is being in Durham means that I've been able to make new friends who I wouldn't have usually met before. So I guess the story behind like my journey into Durham. And the message for anyone who wants to consider coming to Durham is don't be afraid if it wasn't your original plan, or don't feel like if you got rejected from one thing, then it's the end of that. Basically, for me, what I've learned is every so-called rejection is actually a redirection. So you get redirected.
Slay girl.
And you never know at the time, but later you'll begin to realize that that actually worked out for better, and that's where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I got into Durham.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet, Lily. And how about you, Prem?
So first of all, to preface this, I'm from Manchester, and it means I'm from Lancashire, so I'm at war with these two. Anyway,
Hold up.
yeah, Lancashire versus Yorkshire. Google it.
I've never heard of it.
Really? Anyway, so yes, basically, I also applied to Cambridge, but I didn't really apply with the intention of getting in. I just wanted to see how like the admission process was like, and that's because the natural science course at Durham isn't like every other natural science course where it's like biology, chemistry, physics in whatever mix, but you can basically mix and match whatever science subjects you want. You don't need to stick to a 50-50 split. So computer science and maths, for example, yeah, sure. If you want the computer science and maths title at Durham, you need to do a 50% split. But with the natural sciences, you can just mix and match. So that's why I've got my weird concoction of maths, computer science, and economics. And next year, I'm considering potentially doing maths and maths and computer science, not economics. God. Yeah, no, with an 80-40 split. Well, 80-40 because that's the amount of credits, not percentages. I'm not that bad at maths. So yeah, that's why I actually chose Durham, because of that whole flexibility. I also applied to St Andrews because, again, with the Scottish degree structure, it is flexible. But first of all, that was a 4-year course. And second of all, they didn't want me either. So yeah, obviously, I mean, Durham was going to be my first choice anyway because it's much closer to home. It's just a direct train away. And yeah, with a 3-year course. I also had other unis. So Manchester accepted me, asking for 3 A stars. God.
Same here.
3 A stars!
Yeah. That's the reason why I ended up picking Durham over Manchester.
Yeah.
Even more crazy thing on top of that, the very next year
crazy.
for applicants, they reduced their offer
They did.
down to 1 A star, 2 A's.
Yeah, because...
So illegal.
Yeah, no, 3 A stars, that was mad. Like, even Cambridge didn't ask for that.
They were trying to be better than Oxbridge.
Yeah, no. Thank God I am here at Durham. Plus, as well, the Durham course for maths, for example, is harder in first year.
Yeah.
But that's okay because first year doesn't actually class towards your degree classification. So it's amazing that they
important
do
to know.
the harder stuff. So again, if you're doing maths and like Googling things, a real analysis usually gets taught in second year at other unis, whereas Durham usually teach it in first year. But again, if you're a weird student like me, you can do it in second year.
Yeah, I think you just like show Prem that like natural sciences is so unique and flexible because like I do a similar like for social sciences, and it's like literally my friends are like, how can you literally pick all your own modules? Like, do you not have any compulsory modules? And I'm like, yeah, no. But yeah, it's something that's quite new to Durham. Is it? Or like, has it always been around?
Oh, no, it's been around apparently for over 100 years.
Oh my, well, so it's been around, but it's like one of those that you don't really hear about, I feel like, unless you've done your own research. But yeah, so we've got, in this podcast, we made specifically sure to have one who's doing a single honours and to have it combined, just to hear the differences as well. And then, yeah, I think now we're just going to go back into time. So, oh no, you guys are already back in time. Just stay where you guys are, about like back into your A-level mind. What were your expectations before coming to Durham? Like, did you have any like assumptions that you had about Durham, or what you knew about Durham beforehand?
So my assumptions about Durham was that it was posh and Harry Potter land. I mean, given that we wear gowns, well, at most colleges, yeah, I do get that. But no, it isn't like absolute Harry Potter. Like, I don't know, we actually have independent thought. So yeah, that's a cool thing. Other things about Durham as well, thought it was posh, thought it was, but no, it is genuinely, especially in different colleges, you can see that sort of community. Like, for example, like Josephine Butler, we do have a really good community, and no, we're not like posh, we're just normal.
No, yeah, for me, definitely, coming to Durham, like, expectations I had was definitely more to do with the amount of time I'd have with lectures and other things. Coming to uni, I actually originally thought, back when I was in A-levels, that uni would be, I'd end up having a lot more free time, or I'd have maybe 2 to 3 hours of lectures a day, then the rest of the day to do something else. Yeah, partly because as well, because I have an older brother and he went to uni before me, and his advice was, he told me that he actually found doing his degree in uni easier than his A-levels. I don't know whether that was because of the time element, or just because of how much more he enjoyed his degree. But yeah, I kind of had an expectation that uni, living away from home as well, that I just have a lot more free time. But I think particularly, especially if you're a STEM student like us, that's definitely not the case, as I've discovered. Yes, definitely.
Wait, so how much hours do you guys get roughly contact hours? Oh, yeah, just to preface, contact hours is the amount of lectures or seminars or basically what's on your timetable, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, for me, it kind of varied. So in Michaelmas, which is our fancy way of saying term 1, I had about 23 contact hours. And in Epiphany, which is our second term, I had about 18, and that's because, 19, just because one of my modules, Programming Black, which she does as well, just didn't have any lectures because independent study. But yeah, it does vary quite a bit. In STEM especially, it is more heavier on hours.
Same here. Term 1, I'd have about 24 hours a week. So just to put that into perspective, I have some friends who say they only have 10 or 6 hours a week, but that's because they're either humanities subjects. So in term 2, again, very similar. I think it actually went up for me in term 2. I think it actually went up to probably like 25, mainly because of my elective. What an elective is just on top of the modules, I have computer science in first year. You get one more module you can choose for another 20 credits from any other department, and I chose a maths module. So I had tutorials for that. So that added like an extra hour a week on top of what I already had.
Wow. So just when you were choosing your modules, so like for Lily, for you, for your elective, and you, Prem, for like all your modules, how did you go about choosing them? And like, was it based off interest or like career or like, what's the process behind that?
Yeah, so natural science here is a bit more complicated than that because, again, although we don't have any compulsory modules, you still need to make sure that you've got like particular modules for you to progress into the next year. So obviously with a straight computer science student, you have to have those 5 modules which you must take to be able to progress into anything in second year. Again, with natural science, in each subject, my progression is sort of hindered, but that's okay because like there are some other substitutes mechanisms. So for example, in maths in second year, there's a module called mathematical modeling. Now, I do a module called computational thinking, which is required because of computer science. But that computational thinking module will work for modeling, even though they realistically expect people to have the maths version of programming. But yeah, so basically I picked the required modules for progression. So for maths, calculus and linear algebra; for computer science, computational thinking; for economics, principle of economics. And because of economics, because I don't do the maths module in economics because I'm not allowed to, I also added in probability and statistics because that's what I needed instead of that maths module from economics. So I did end up having one free choice, and I decided to choose. So actually, in the degree like regulations for natural sciences, you must have at least 2 subjects, and each of them are at least 40 credits. So I can't do like 80 credits maths, 20 of computer science, and 20 of economics. So I had to pick computer science over economics. Now, I value life, so I decided to pick a computer science module instead of economics. So I chose programming black because it also meant as well, there's again some weird rules, but they do get told to you. Like our director in natural science, James Blowy, he's amazing. Like he will signpost you for everything, and like it isn't as hard to pick a module in natural science as you'd think. But basically, there's also a rule in second year for third year progression in computer science that you need to have 80 credits across both years. So I had to pick a computer science module, and I picked programming black mainly because it only ran in 1 term, so I had a bit more free time in the second term. But also later I realised our lecturer just randomly sings in the middle of a lecture.
I love those lectures though, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Some cool lecturers. Cool. And then, Lily, you picked like an optional maths one on top of computer science.
Yeah. So similar to Prem, I also picked programming black, and the reasoning behind that was because we have a choice between programming gold and programming black to choose from, and the difference between those two is programming gold is for people who maybe don't have that much programming experience in the past, whereas programming black is based off, it has a lot more, it does things a lot quicker. Like they both have the same content covered, but programming black just does it at a faster speed, which is why we finished in term 1. So I chose programming black because I did computer science at A level in GCSE, so I already had that sufficient programming knowledge there. And for my elective, discrete maths wasn't actually the first thing I had on mind, because the thing for choosing your elective is there's so many other things you have to take into account, such as timetabling. So for example, I originally wanted to actually choose a psychology module, partly linked to my passion for wanting to create things that can be used to help people. I have a really deep interest as well in like social behavior, like how people think. But unfortunately, I couldn't do any of the psychology modules because the timetabling was all clashing. And also some other modules that I wanted to choose, they had prerequisites.
Yeah.
So you either had to do that at A level first, or you needed to have some other qualification before doing it. So then I ended up choosing discrete maths, mainly because after doing some research, I discovered it's quite relevant for computer science, really relevant with decision making, and even applicable to a module that we're doing in year 2 computer science. So I picked it based off the fact that I was thinking, okay, if I do this module in year 1, then it will actually help me for second year, because if we get taught similar things in second year, then it's like I already have like a base level knowledge, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why I chose discrete maths.
Awesome. Thank you so much for talking through that process. I think definitely when choosing modules, doing that before coming into university is really helpful. And I wish someone told me that before. So yeah, you guys gave such great tips there. Now you're in Durham, so we're moving fast forward. So what would you say your typical day looked like? I know we're currently in exam season, which is the last term epiphany, so we have no lectures anymore. But like going back from what your day usually supposed to look like.
Right. So basically, what happens is I wake up in the morning, and I wish to say I have the desire to do maths, but no, I go back to sleep, and that is quite real for a university student. I'm trying to be real with you guys here. So basically that happens, and then I wake up, and then I realise, oh, I've got a 9 a.m. So I quickly have a shower, drink some tea, and go to my 9 a.m. Now, obviously, that's the waking up conundrum. Every university student will probably suffer through that. So then I go to my contact hours. So what used to happen in my Michaelmas and Epiphany is I used to have a 9 a.m. every day, except 2 days where I have 10 a.m.s. And then like I break off at lunch about 1 o'clock, except for Fridays where I didn't have a lunch in Michaelmas. In Epiphany I did. Again, there is obviously like natural science is cool, but timetabling can sometimes be mad, especially because like a bit of computer science here, they're probably using something called a greedy algorithm to do the timetabling. So they put everything on a Monday if you're a natural science student. So my Mondays were terrible, but that's okay because in natural sciences, you can change like things in your timetable around, especially in maths where you've got a lot more tutorials going on. But yeah, I'm rambling about timetables now. Anyway, so yeah.
Really see that you fought through this a lot.
Yes. Anyway, yeah. So obviously, then I get a lunch from a 1 o'clock. I like again as a first year, I can just go back to college. It's only about a 15-minute walk from where my lectures and like stuff are. I actually cook lunch, which is interesting. We say cook. It's probably just chucking pasta into hot water and then making pasta or something simple. I'm never going to be too complicated. I only have a 2-hour lunch. And then I relax a bit because what is important to understand is you're at university. It doesn't mean you have to be studying every waking hour. Have a break during the day because otherwise you will get burnt out. So yeah, that 2 hours ended up being my break. And then I go to my next lecture in the afternoon. Some days I didn't, like most of the days actually, I didn't have anything in the afternoon. So on Tuesdays, Wednesdays in Durham as well, we don't have anything in the afternoons. Thursdays, we did have something in the afternoon. Yeah, I just didn't go to them. Anyway, yeah, so, right, make sure to go to your lectures. Do not be like me. Anyway, so yeah, I go to my Monday lectures, do not worry. So yeah, I go to them lectures, come back home, maybe do a bit more studying, because again, it's always important, even though, yeah, burnout exists, it's important to reconsolidate your knowledge and to make sure that you have absorbed everything. And then you eat dinner, you do some other assignments, you have a fun time. Well, not fun time. I'm a math student after all. But yeah, basically just study a bit and chill a bit because again, burnout is not very cool.
Yeah. No, that's solid advice.
Yeah.
Oh, FYI, guys, lectures are recorded. Most of it. Is it recorded for you?
Right. So I do know the university are potentially thinking about getting board recordings, but like our whiteboards aren't recorded yet. But if you're a math student, again, obviously they would want to use a whiteboard. Like the maths department and science faculty in general, they actually like have like proper solid lecture notes. So again, because I do an economics module, like I know that in economics and like those other faculties, it like the culture widely varies. Like over there, I use textbooks. Like we use textbooks, whereas in science we have like lecture notes, which is helpful.
Oh, for me, my days are also quite busy. For me as a computer science student, my Mondays were always quite pushed back. Like I always had a 4 to 6 on Monday, just because of how my lectures were done. Tuesday, I'd have 2 practicals in the morning, and then a lecture, and then a 1-hour break, and then another lecture as well. And then Wednesday, I'd have one thing in the morning, and then like Prem said, afternoons for Wednesdays are free, like for everyone, mainly because of the sports. There's quite a lot of sports societies that do stuff on Wednesdays and other societies in general. And Thursdays were typically my most busy days. I would have like practical in the morning, lecture, then another lecture, tutorial, and then another lecture at the end of the day. So I'd have basically a 9 to 5. A 9 to 5 as a uni
That's
student,
what a degree
guys.
is like. Yeah.
Yes. And then Fridays were also kind of busy. but I did have a bit more of a break towards the end of Easter term because of how my modules were done. So the programming block finished, which meant that I had like a 3-hour break in between, which was quite nice. But yeah, I'd say it definitely depends on whether you are a STEM student or humanities student. Because if
we'll have a humanities video coming up soon too.
Yeah, because if you're a STEM student, you tend to have a lot less hours for like extra reading, which is why you have a lot more in-person lectures and practicals as well, which are just environments where you get to practice what you learned from the lectures, which is why it's always helpful to go to the lectures. But then the practicals...
Don't skip your lectures.
But the practicals are usually done based off what you learnt in the lectures from the previous week, not the current week anyway. So yeah, my days were quite busy, but again, it's nice to have something where you're doing something different which is not related to your degree, where you have that free time to just de-stress and, you know...
That's a very good segue to the next question, Lily. So I'm sure I know these two, they're both my friends. So I know you two are both busy bees. Yeah, you guys managed to find time to do other stuff outside your degree. A, how is that possible? And B, what are you guys part of?
First of all, I'm going to preface this. I've noticed we've been messing up our term names a bit. I'm getting confused between Epiphany and Easter. They both begin with E's.
We get confused.
We get confused as well.
Yeah.
It's Michaelmas, Epiphany, Easter. Easter is a revision term.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2 E's. Just forgive us.
Yeah.
Anyway, so regarding time management is a key. Because... again, you need to have some sort of like flexibility. So for example, with my revision, for example, I make sure I do certain amounts of hours of revision, but I don't keep a hard and fast rule of when to do it. Like obviously, if I have an exam coming up, yeah, I will want to do the revision before that, because revising after an exam is not quite as effective as you'd think it is. Yeah. It isn't effective at all, let's be honest. But basically just having that sort of flexibility to be able to do other things. So again, like we've got college events like at all colleges, so we've got formal dinners, so I make sure to drop into one once in a while. I'm part of some societies, so I'm part of a political society. I am also part of in my college a society called slacklining. Well, basically, it's like tightroping between 2 trees, but a bit more sophisticated than a tightrope. So, yeah, I'm part of them. What else am I part of?
You're part of a fashion show.
I was part of a fashion show. Yes, thank you for reminding me. I forgot I was part of a fashion show. One of our college fashion shows. But again, like I was the photography lead there. But again, flexibility is important. Plus as well, like, keeping weekends to do stuff as well. Yeah. So for example, with the fashion show, we did photo shoots, for example, so I kept my one weekend free, well, one Saturday, and sort of like just managing your time around things that have to be fixed in time. You don't have to be revising 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. You can be revising at night. Like, I mean, to be fair, I find it more effective personally to revise at night.
I catch him in Billy B at night.
But yeah, time management, basically. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, and actually following on from that, yeah, speaking of fashion shows, I'm also involved in a fashion show. The good thing about Durham, for anyone who's interested, we have quite a lot of fashion shows. We have many colleges have their own fashion shows.
It's quite a Durham thing.
Yeah, and we also have 3 just general fashion shows that are part of the uni. So the biggest one is DUCFS, so Durham Charity Fashion Show. And then we have a Revival Charity Fashion Show. And then you have the one which I'm part of, which is Walk On Charity Fashion Show. So my role is I'm one of the fashion directors on Walk On Fashion Show. So yeah, it's actually quite a big role because we are the ones who are responsible for sourcing fashion. We just message student designers at other fashion unis in the UK, and we asked them if they can lend us their garments, and we were responsible for looking after them, as well as doing the fittings for the models, and on the day being responsible for where all the fashion is kept and making sure that everything backstage runs smoothly. So yeah, the reason why I decided to join with one of the fashion shows is because I quite enjoy sewing and crochet in my spare time. So yeah, you wouldn't think that someone who's a computer science student would also have this very creative side to them. But I think that's such a unique part, because I feel like sometimes people misjudge STEM students. They think that, oh, you guys are so nerdy or geeks, like you only
Partly
do
true.
that. You only do you only do that type of stuff. But no, like, we have our creative side too. So like for me, I quite like being creative, creating like stuff like I'm gonna wear, or just like making stuff in general. So I kind of wanted to see what it looks like on the other side of looking at other people who create stuff. So getting designs from other fashion designers and looking after them, just to help me appreciate more of like how hard it is to make stuff for other people. But yeah, it's mostly linked to my own interests. So I guess, guys, Durham has so many different societies which cater to all your different interests anyways. So whatever you're interested in, you can find a society for
So true.
literally anything. Like, you'd be surprised at some of the societies that
It's over
exist
100,
here.
right?
There's over 100 plus college societies. So Josephine Butler, we've got 77, and you can always just make your own up. Like,
That's true.
Yes.
You can make your own as well.
That's just one college.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that includes sports as well.
Yeah. Just have a few more questions, so we'll speed things up a bit more. So I guess, first of all, what do you most enjoy about it? Actually, let's start negative. What do you find most challenging, or like what do you not so much like about your degree? And then flip side, what has been your most favorite parts of your degree?
So, least favorite, you added degree on because what was coming in my mind, first of all, of my least favorite part is this hill we've got in Durham. It's called Cardiac Hill.
I'll
It is in the
insert a
name,
photo.
guys.
Yes, it's a very steep hill between
Get your
Lower Mount
steps in.
Joy and Upper Mount Joy. And like, as maths and computer science is on upper, but most of the lectures are delivered in lower, that is hell. But no, that's not part of my degree. So I have to walk up it.
Okay, yeah, Durham life in general. Then.
All right, yeah,
And your
Cardiac
degree.
Hill. And I mean, to be fair, it's a really hilly place. And cycling.
It's really true.
When I first brought my cycle here, I thought,
You brought your
God.
cycle?
Yes, I did. It makes things a lot more faster. I go to Lidl on my bike. I even strap bags on my bike, weirdly. I will send you a photo for you to put on screen. But no, hills, first of all, I thought they were bad, but you get like used to them. Regarding my degree, maths is hard. Like,
Step up.
even better, my linear algebra lecturer once came into a lecture wearing a t-shirt saying, maths is hard. So yes, it is.
Actually.
Yes. I will send you the photo. I will send you the photo. But yes.
Another world, these STEM students.
Maths is hard. Yeah, we are chaotic students, as STEM students. Like, I don't know why I'm sidetracking here, but basically, like, I've done many random things. Like, part of Programming Black, I made Microsoft Authenticator Rat. We also printed an A0 poster of a guy. But yes, that's the amazing parts
This
of
is
Durham.
not helping the stereotype.
I mean, chaos is one of the amazing parts of Durham because you can do chaos if you want. Like, good chaos, not bad chaos, like not starting fires or anything. But yeah, other good things as well is the college, like how Durham is collegiate. Like, you end up getting into a closer community because I don't actually know that many people on maths course or computer science course, but I do know people, like, I definitely don't know anyone in economics, but I do know, like, people from my college who do those subjects, and that's kind of as well, like, how I, like, made friendships and stuff.
I have to follow up from the Cardiac Hill comment as well. because being a computer science student, just
It's not that bad. You're getting your steps in.
Yeah, another disclaimer for you guys: if you're studying computer science, if you have practicals, because the lectures are not in the computer science building, partly because we're quite a massive cohort, so most of the lectures are on the science site, which is at the bottom of the hill. But if you have practicals on the top of the hill in the maths and computer science building, like I do, then you will have to trek up Cardiac Hill just to get to your practicals. And
You don't have to go to the gym anymore, I'm sure.
no, seriously, if you come to Durham, you don't actually need gym if you're walking up all these hills all the time. I don't actually think Cardiac Hill is called Cardiac Hill because of how it makes you feel. I think it's actually called Cardiac Hill just because of how many defibrillators it has. That's a fun fact I heard.
Oh, wow.
So
Did not
don't
know
be
that.
misled. The name is funny, but I think it's called Cardiac Hill just because it has a lot of defibrillators on top. But that's a downside. I guess maybe not a downside if
Yeah.
you like climbing hills. Like there is a hill walking society, so
Yeah.
if you like climbing hills, then I guess that's an upside for you. I guess the other downside, what I already mentioned before, was the timetable and how I never had a single day until exam period where I had no lectures. I always had something every, like all of those 5 days from Monday to Friday. But yeah, I actually think though, looking back and now nearly the end of my first year, I think I kind of prefer having that over having more reading hours. Partly because if I had more reading hours where I didn't have to come anywhere but just do extra reading, I think I'd find that a lot harder to actually do. Whereas if I know I have a lecture, I know, okay, I've got to be here at this lecture.
Yeah, it gives you
taking
more
notes.
structure.
It does give you more structure to your day. And I feel like that's what I prefer. I prefer having structure. I guess there are two types of people. There are people who like having more freedom to choose what they want to do. And there are people who quite like having a structured routine. But yeah, I feel like Durham in general, it just has like a lot of like things. Again, with it being a collegiate system, I quite like how, again, the community element is quite close knit. Because like at Hillbead, my college, I haven't talked much about Hillbead actually. The funny thing is, Hillbead wasn't actually my first choice. I know. So in case you didn't know, you get asked to rank your colleges in order of preference before you come to Durham. And then how they allocate it is a bit weird. They put you into like this pool and then like it's just randomly picking out students and seeing if they can allocate their first choice. But yeah, Hillbead was actually my sixth choice. But it's still good, guys, because you see, when you're looking for a college, there are many different things you have to consider. You have to consider, okay, we've got catered colleges and self-catered colleges, and the main difference between those is that catered, you get meals provided, so kind of like what you already have in like high school, and then self-catered, you're cooking for yourself. You have your own kitchen space, you have all the things you need: fridge, hob, oven, microwave, etc. So I actually preferred having a self-catered college. That was my priority because I am sometimes a bit picky with like food, or I have specific things. You know, there are some days you come back after a long day and you just have one specific thing that you want to eat. So the joy of having a self-catered college is that I can make whatever I want to have in that moment, as opposed to going to kids' college, not really knowing what's on the menu, or trying something and not really liking it. So yeah, I'm really happy at Hillbead though. It's another big college, so we have quite a lot of people. But funny situation with Hillbead.
You have a new
though.
bar.
Yes. In fact, Hillbead is actually a new site compared to its original site. Its original site is currently under renovation. Because of a lot of stuff. There has been like last year, I heard so many stories from like second year students who told me last year, like some people had to be evacuated from their rooms and other stuff like that because of asbestos in the college and other things like that. So I'm very grateful to be at this new site. It means that we have bigger rooms.
It's very modern.
Very modern. Yes,
Yeah.
bigger rooms, all en suite, and we have a 3/4 sized bed. So in case you didn't know, you have different types of rooms in Durham as well. So some have single, some have 3/4, which is just basically halfway between a single and a double. But I really like it in Hillby. I've made so many. I've made so many
Oh,
good
I have a
friends.
bonus question for you, Lily. Because like you're a woman in STEM and like doing quite a male-dominated degree. How have you like found that? Like, yeah.
No, yeah, definitely. It is interesting. To be honest, though, of course, I knew that choosing computer science would mean that I wouldn't expect to walk in and see so many people who look like me, particularly being a person of color as well and being female. So, to be honest, though, I feel like it's quite a lovely experience, though, because like for me as a person, anyway, I actually enjoy like being in spaces where like there are other people and like they're like obviously different to you, and I feel like the good thing about being in that space is that it's like you're able to show them that it doesn't matter like what background you're from, or it doesn't matter like who you are. It just matters about your passion and what you're coming to bring to the table in terms of like what you are going to get out of this course and how you are going to use it in the future to change the lives of other people. So yeah, I definitely feel like computer science, especially because we've got quite a big group, 300 people, although not all of those people come to lectures all the time. But yeah, I'd say it is quite a unique experience, like walking into a lecture, and like, it's quite easy to like be like spotted because, but I quite like the thing I like about computer science actually, like despite the fact that, you have all these stereotypes. I feel like computer science especially, there are a lot of different like stereotypes for computer science. But in spite
We
of
won't
that,
name them.
but in spite of that, I feel like I've actually made so many like people who I've talked to on my course, like they are such nice people anyway. You'd think that computer scientists, they're introvert or they don't really like socialize much. They've, got their head in a computer screen 24/7. But no, actually, like there are so many of us who like we are very approachable people. We are very social, and it just goes to show that if you like are not like, it doesn't matter if you fit into the stereotype or not. In fact, there shouldn't really be a stereotype, because what we want ideally is in the workplace, in the real world, when you come out of your degree, we don't want people who can't hold a conversation with a client, or we don't want people who don't really know how to communicate. So basically what I'm trying to say is computer science, like in general, like there's so many things that you can do with it, and it's just good to have people in that course who are able to bring like a new side to it. So yeah, I feel like that's the beauty of it, like being able to show people that you care, and being able to have so much passion about your degree that whenever you talk to people, like you're able to, allow them to feel your passion, So yeah, I definitely think that being a woman in STEM
Is a strength, not a
is
weakness.
strength. Yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Lily. Thank you so much. You guys have given us so much inside scoop into Durham, and so realistic as well, which I love. And then I guess final question would be, actually not question, final thing would be, what sort of tip would you give to your younger self, or to any prospective students who might have got their A-levels now, or thinking of Durham and wanting to do STEM? Yeah, what advice would you give?
Well, if you do maths, so not like computer science with some maths modules, but actual maths, even half maths, try not to rely on your calculator too much. Because the hard thing I came to terms with is like, again, like at A level, I did like too much STEM, and we basically got calculators in our exams with a graphical calculator. At university, at all universities, in fact, for maths especially, you don't get a calculator at all, except for statistics, and you get a basic calculator at that. We don't get calculators. So if you're trying to do something like, I don't know, an integral, you won't get a fancy calculator. You will get a basic or no calculator at all. So, like, what I used to do at A-level is, like, this is very specific to maths, but, like, I used to test an integral. Like, if I wrote an integral down, I would try differentiating it in my calculator with numbers and seeing if it matches up. Yeah, no, that won't work at university because I don't even get a calculator, and I don't even know what 2 plus 2 is half the time in maths. It's genuinely a struggle in maths. Like, a lot of us are actually bad at arithmetic now. Like, we can do actual maths, but even lecturers sometimes get stumbled across, like, the basic, like, calculation. So, yeah, is a tip. Try not to rely on your calculator because you won't get a calculator at uni.
I definitely think a piece of advice I'd give to prospective students, don't be afraid of coming to lectures to ask for help outside of the lecture. So what I'm trying to say is lectures have this thing called contact hours where they can say, okay, I'm in my office for this hour on this day, and you can come if you have any questions about what we're currently doing in the course. So yeah, especially because with computer science, we had quite a lot of different courseworks throughout the year. So I guess another advantage is that your grade is not solely based on exams. We do have coursework elements, which for some modules make up like a third or 50% of our grade. So it means that it's not entirely dependent on exams. And especially for those assignments where you're doing it independently over a period of time. Sometimes if you get stuck, like, don't be afraid to just like email the lecturer like about like any questions you have. I feel like it's definitely something I could have done more of. I guess, yeah, sometimes you feel like, oh, like, especially in uni, I'd say for me, it was a very different experience because obviously I'm used to having like smaller class sizes of like 30 or 20 people, and then I feel a lot more comfortable asking the teacher questions. Whereas in uni, I feel like, because it's like a massive lecture hall with over 100 different people, and even in the lecture, sometimes the lecturers ask if anyone has questions, but it's very awkward. Sometimes nobody wants to say anything.
Get used to silence.
Yeah. So I definitely feel like take advantage of the hours which your lecturers have told you can approach them in.
So
Not
good.
just even about coursework, but it's just nice to get to have build a relationship with those who are teaching you as well. Because for me in uni, and I think like for everyone, like a big thing which I've discovered is networking is so key.
Yeah.
So even with the lecturers, because these lecturers, they will be like
They're the
at
best in their
the
fields.
best in their field. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, you might think, oh, this lecture is so boring. But think about what it's like being able to like teach so many people who might not even all like care about what you're saying. But if you have that, like, if you have that desire to learn something more, and if you come to their contact hours, you'll be surprised at how much your lecturers appreciate it, because it's like they're the top of their field, and it shows them that they have students who actually care more about not just what's in their course, but also what they want to do in the future. So I feel like don't be afraid to speak to the lecturers. They're not scary people.
Yeah.
Like, it's also good to just learn more so that you also get a better idea of what you want to do in the future. Like, some of these lecturers might be working in a field you are interested in as well. So definitely don't be hesitant to talk to them so that you can get advice or even help for something that you're wanting to do to further your experience or better your skills for the future.
Oh, thank you so
Wait,
much.
Can I add on to that?
Yeah, of course.
Maths, like in maths especially, our lectures are actually so chill. Like, obviously,
Like
we
sing in the middle of
Oh, that was the computer science lecture.
Oh, okay.
like in the maths lecture, like obviously we've got the t-shirt guy with the maths is hard. We've also got all sorts of t-shirts like Happy Halloween, worn in the first week of November. Like I remember once like going to one of my lecturer's office hours for calculus. I went up there, talked about Fourier transforms, and decided I'm going to skip that question in the exam. But instead, guess what we ended up doing? We ended up just having a nice chat for like an hour, and like an hour, and then like because again he didn't have anyone else come to his office hour, so we were just chatting for that hour. Like came up with some ridiculous idea, like the aforementioned cardiac kill, sticking a lecturer on the side of it, like some ridiculous concepts. But no, they are genuinely chill people, so do not be scared by them. Actually, that was a quote from one of my lecturer. Do not be scared. Someone made a website about that as well.
Okay, thank you so much, you two, for joining us on Durham Student. I think just through this podcast, guys, you can tell you guys have basically debunked the whole myth of STEM students not being social. Like you guys, we yapped on for this. So thank you so much for staying till the end of this video. Post like your favorite emoji in the comments. We'll know that you have stayed for 50 minutes.
Yes. And also remember, we do touch grass.
We definitely touch grass.
Yeah.
In fact, it's Durham. I literally had to walk through a field to
Like
get
we
here.
have no choice. It's everywhere.
So good luck for those of you guys that have your A-levels coming soon, and we hope to see you in Durham, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Adios.
Bye. Guys.